Hello, so I want to give you a tour of my read fiction books. These are my favorite fiction books that I've read, some multiple times, others I want to reread again. And when I finish a book and I decide I want to keep it and read it and have it, I put it in this cabinet right here. And so I'm able to fit my fiction books here in this section and then down here, some of the kids' books are there. So they probably will be moved at some point. But for now, since I have room, I have the my kids' Who Was collection, and also these Getting to Know collection. And so we've read all the Getting to Know books, and they're amazing. So I'm just gonna get started. So the top shelf, and this is no particular order. I tried to keep books by the same author together, but it's kind of hard because they're kind of stacked this way because of the weird type of bookshelf we have. And I just kind of throw the books in there when I finish them. But here I have so I have my Orwell, Saunders, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Vonnegut, Chekhov. Let's see, Brave New World. So that's Huxley, Saunders, Ian McEwan, Camus, Catch 22, John Steinbeck, Fight Club, Choke. I cannot say his name, but he is such an incredible author. Chuck Palahniuk something. And then here's my poetry. And then here are some plays, Tennessee Williams plays. I loved most of these. I did not like A Streetcar Named Desire the first time I read it. So either I'll like it next time or I'll have to tear that part of the play out of the book or not. Just kidding. Jane Eyre, which is my favorite book. Oh, I love this cover. I got it $4 at a thrift store. Let's see, these are some Michael Cunningham. This is the only Sophie Kinsella book I kept, Shopaholic and Sister. I love that one for some reason. Just loved it. I've read it maybe 4 or 5 times now. I loved it. Totally about me and my sister. Just kidding. Let's see, graphic novel I stuck in there. Home Fire. I loved Home Fire. Donna Tartt. I found this big giant copy of The Goldfinch. Winesburg, Ohio was so good. Gentleman in Moscow. This is a signed copy. I'm so lucky to own something like that because it was just an incredible book. Let's see, Elephant. I got to read that one again. It was such a good book. Let's see, I'm gonna go on this section. We got The Bodyguard, Catherine Center. I love Catherine Center. I got 2 of her books from the publisher, so that was exciting. Some other ones, some sci-fi. Let's see, Babel was so good, but I didn't like any of her other books, unfortunately. Yellow Raft and Blue Water is one of my favorite books of all time. And I read that one in high school in 9th grade, and it was just amazing. So I've read that multiple times. I really like these books. I'm just getting excited to reread them. Cane Mutiny. Oh, that was such an incredible book. I read that last year, and it was just unbelievable. Cloud Cuckoo Land. Didn't like his other book, unfortunately. Oh, and Silent Patient. Again, I feel like a lot of these books are kind of one-offs for me. I read multiples by some of these authors, and then I only kept one book because it was the only one I liked. So that's kind of the story for some of these. And then, let's see, we got Lessons in Chemistry. I just got myself a new copy. Again, this is another one, Frederick Backman. I only just liked A Man Called Ove, and I read so many by him. Ann Tyler, another author that there's only 2 books that I liked by her. Some of these authors, I just love everything they write, and then other ones, just 1 book or 2 books. Where'd You Go, Bernadette was so good. I can't wait to reread that. I've had this Belle since I was in middle school. Trust, I just finished. It was amazing. Got some cliff notes there. What's this one for? The Invisible Man. Oh yeah, The Invisible Man was such a struggle, but it was so worth it. It was such a great book. And then, I love this one, My Brilliant Friend, one of my favorite books of last year. Queen's Gambit was almost just as good as the show. It was like watching the show, but reading it. It was great. Let's see. My Sister, the Serial Killer was so much fun. I love that one. Kafka on the Shore was so weird, but I kind of liked it. Bell Jar was incredible. Dark Matter, I got to reread. I reread his Recursion, and I did not like it on the second read. I loved it the first read. So I'm worried that Dark Matter will be the same. And then Contact, I read it twice now, and it's a struggle to get through. It's a very long technical book. Let's see what we have here. Oh, Andy Weir. I tried reading his other book. So I liked Project Hail Mary, and I really liked The Martian. Oh, I'm falling backwards now. But the other one, I think, what was it called? His first book. I did not like it. I cannot remember his first book. I got rid of it. Howl, Allen Ginsberg graphic novel. Who knew that existed, right? Let's see. Oh, this one was so good. How High We Go in the Dark. I got that one when I got the book before it came out, so that was super excited. I read it right away, and it was just amazing. Ishiguro, a bunch by him. This one is also really good. This one I got a copy from the publisher, and I loved it. Oh, it's my favorite book, Of Human Bondage. That's another book that I read in high school and changed my life. F. Scott Fitzgerald books, Mori Ishiguro. Orson Scott Card is so great. Well, not always, but Speaker for the Dead is incredible. One of my favorite books of all time. More poetry. 2001 was amazing. Let's see. Oh, Clockwork Orange, I love. Ender's Game. My Agatha Christie's, aren't they pretty? I love her collection, Complete Short Stories, Miss Marple collection. So good. And I just got myself a brand new cover when it came out. So pretty. Because my old cover was just hundreds of years old. The one, David Sedaris, I consider nonfiction. I mean fiction. But this is a signed copy. So that's why it's there. And this is the weirdest book ever. But I think I'm only keeping it to have something signed by David Sedaris. Because he is such a great author. My Elizabeth Strout, I'm such a huge fan of Elizabeth Strout, except for her Lucy books. I don't like her Lucy books. Unfortunately, I've had to get rid of all of them. Lolita, I really need to get into Nabokov. Ray Bradbury, I love Ray Bradbury so much. Except for, there was one book that I really need to reread because I didn't like it, and that was Something Wicked This Way Comes. So that's on my reread shelf. And Neil Gaiman is another author I love almost everything by. Oh, and there's my graphic novels for Shakespeare. Those are cute. They're okay. They're not the greatest things in the world, but they're pretty cute. And then I have a bunch of plays there. Some of my favorites, Death of a Salesman, 12 Angry Men, Amadeus, Waiting for Godot. Those are some of the best plays I've read. This Pyranus book, I didn't love as much as everyone else did, so I need to reread that one soon. World War Z was so crazy. I love this book. This was so terrifying and political at the same time. Wonderful. And then those are the two Shakespeare ones I read recently, and I really enjoyed those. Those are my favorites, Macbeth and Merchant of Venice so far. More Neil Gaiman. Not a big fan of Stardust. I like the movie more, but it's okay. It's better every time I read it. So I read it twice now. And so going down, I haven't done this stuff. Okay, so we got Philip K. Dick. Ubik was unbelievable. And Android's Dream of Electric Sheep or Blade Runner. It was weird but good. I love Salinger, Madame Bovary. Look at that beautiful copy I got a couple years ago for Christmas. Guards. I love this book so much. Stoner, amazing. Americana I really liked. This is the only book I like so far by this author. Michael Chabon. Confederacy of Dunces was hilarious. Let's see. I just finished this collection of short stories. So it's good. Glutton, this is another book I got from as an ARC, and it was so weird, but I liked it. It was very poetic, but so disturbingly gross. I don't know. I think I want to reread it, but not too soon. The Accidental Tourist was so good. And I want to try out for this musical this year. So I have the book, so I've been studying it. I don't think I'm going to get a role, but fingers crossed. I love this author, and I love the Adrian Mole series, and I got these adorable books that all match. I used to have all of these in various random publications, and I finally got this cute collection, but I've read these books so many times. These are some of my favorites. And then this is another book I got from the publisher I really liked. It was weird, but I really liked it. And then Oscar Wilde's great. Station 11. I didn't like the Glass Hotel, but I did like these two. This one less than Station 11. Station 11 was my favorite. And I love the show too. And let's see, Red, White, and Royal Blue. I love that. I love the movie. Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason, I love. But not the first one. I did not like the first one. Blindness was amazing. Interpreter of Maladies. I love that book. This is another book I got last year from the publisher, and I just loved it so much. I didn't read any of the other books that got nominated for the Booker Prize, but this is the only one I read, and I mean, if I was picking, I'd pick that one, definitely. Cormac McCarthy, I love The Road. Sharp Objects took me forever to read. I think I had it for like 4 years on my shelf before I picked it up, and then it was just amazing. I'm worried that her other books are not going to be as good. World According to Garp, this one I've read many times, and it's one of my favorite books from my childhood. Snow was amazing. Scoop was so funny. I got to reread that again. Anne Patchett, I really love her most of the time. Most of her books I love. I tried reading the new one she just wrote, and I was not a fan. So I need to maybe reread that one because I think it might be my fault that I didn't like it. Or maybe I was trying the audiobook and the audiobook wasn't working for me. So Bel Canto, I love this one. This one's probably my favorite. We got some Gogol, The Overcoat. This was so funny. Gogol is hilarious. Master Margarita is hilarious. Princess Diaries are so, so cute. I just love the first 3 books. And that's it, just the first 3 books. I'm not going any further. Song of Achilles was one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. Same with Daisy Jones and the Six. These are more romantic books. I think I stacked them all here. Rosie Project is another book I just loved, and then I read the next 2, and I hated them. So it'll just be the Rosie Project for me. And Where the Heart Is, I've read many times. And then these are my more geared towards young adult books. I got The Giver, and I got my son a graphic novel of The Giver for Christmas, trying to get him into the Giver fan club. Ready Player One, I really enjoyed, and Ready Player Two, believe it or not, I really enjoyed that one too. It was so boring at first, but then I got really into the video games that they were in. It was really cool. Or the AI universe they were exploring, I thought was really interesting. The Book Thief was amazing. I consider these Harry Potter books for older kids because they're so disturbing. Tree Grows in Brooklyn was amazing. Invisible Life of Ivan Asenko. Z for Zachariah, I just read last year, so good. Perks of Being a Wallflower was really good. Curious Incident. The Pearl, I really don't know why I'm keeping The Pearl. Maybe I'm thinking the kids will need to read it at some point. I'm not a big fan of The Pearl. Lord of the Flies. Catcher in the Rye. Love The Catcher in the Rye. American Born Chinese. We've been watching the show. It's really good. The Outsiders. Some John Green. I love Turtles All the Way Down, and I did really like Looking for Alaska. I don't know why I'm keeping The Fault in Our Stars. I don't know, maybe because that's what's required for kids to read at some point. I don't know. Some of these I think I'm keeping because I think kids will need to read this at some point, and just to have our own copy. This is Rainbow Roll. I just got rid of another book by her. I had a hard time getting into Carry On. I want to read it again before I get rid of it because I want to make sure 100% that I don't like it and it's not just me and I made a mistake because it's such a popular book. And then this one, I know this one's really problematic, but it did make me cry and I did really like it. And I do want to reread it. I might get rid of that one. Lang Wang's biography is really good. I read this one with my son. This book, oh my gosh, this book is amazing. This one is another book signed by the author, and I got this from the publisher, and I loved it so much. This is one of the best young adult books I've ever read, so I highly recommend that one. Simon and the Homo Sapien Agenda was really good. Kill a Mockingbird, and then Legend. And then these are my, I guess we're getting younger here. The Willoughbys, Wrinkle in Time, Colville books. Peter Pan was really good. Christmas Story. This one was a lot more interesting and better than I ever expected it to be. It's actually a collection of stories. So the one that the movie's based on is just one of the stories. This one was really good. Turning 15 on the Road to Freedom, about the marches, civil rights marches. Mysterious Benedict Society, like a lot, but even better than the Mysterious Benedict Society is the prequels. The Extraordinary Education of Nicholas Benedict was even better. The Weston Game is amazing. This one was one of my favorite books, The Silver Crown. Golden Compass I did not like at all, but we'll try again to see if I was wrong. Spy School was really cool. Little Prince I love. Don't like The Hobbit, but look at the pretty book. Can't get rid of it. It's beautiful. And then Ray Bradbury for kids, The Halloween Tree. Very scary book. This book haunted me. Runya the Robber's Daughter. This is one of my favorite books from my childhood. And there's a new show coming out on Netflix. I am so excited. Sideways School, Louis Zacher. We have almost everything he wrote. We love this author. The Graveyard Book, Neil Gaiman for kids. Such a great book. This is another one. I got the graphic novel for my son, trying to get him into Neil Gaiman. Let's see, Anything But Typical. It's a really good book about an autistic writer, a boy who's an autistic writer, or he's a writer and he's autistic. My Name is Tanya. This is a book about a refugee from Africa. I forget where from Africa, but we read this like 4 years ago. It was really good. And he became a chess prodigy, grandmaster. This is a collection of stories about gifted kids. The Ear, Eye, and the Arm. I love this book. This book I read when I was little, and I just could not get over it. It's incredible. It's like a sci-fi story in Africa. In the future, these kids, well, anyways, it's just, I can't even get into it. It was so good. Alice Adventures. This is just another copy of this book that we have. I think we have several. Wind in the Willows was really good. Genius Under the Table. This book I got from the publisher, and it was amazing. This book it was absolutely incredible. It's a famous children's writer who wrote, this is his biography, and I highly recommend this one. Tales and Beetle the Bar was pretty good. And then some Harry Potter books. I don't know what the rest of them are. Maybe my kids are actually reading them finally. Anyway, so that is my read fiction. And I did when I went through this yesterday, I did get rid of a few books. So that was good of me. And it's really hard to declutter these books just because I love them so much. And I'm trying to really build up a great library for my kids for when they're older, so they know, like, these are my favorite books. These are the books I recommend the most. Thank you for watching.